it's the perfect package because when me and you first met, and I was trying to I had all kind of different things. I had this thing, this thing, this thing, but now I got it all in one
They said
package.
I couldn't do it, but I can. Yes, I can. New requests are coming in to be my friend. Build a brand.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Build a Brand Interviews. Today we have the one, the only 6'5" Jeffrey Bates joining us today. We're really excited, and before we jump into getting to know who he is, what he's doing to build his business, prospect and all that, let's hear a quick message from our sponsor, Build a Brand. Build a Brand is a complete step-by-step self-marketing and branding system that gives you your own personal website with a unique domain. Gives you inventory where your customers can schedule their own VIP appointment. And every lead that comes from your website goes to you, no one else. You get your own personal digital business card that gives the customer everything they need right at their fingertips. They're gonna be shopping online, so why not just give them everything they want? You get a video messaging platform, our review system, and a blog content library filled with hundreds of blogs that you could share onto social media to create top-of-mind awareness for you and your brand. Again, if you want to learn how to increase your sales, sign up for the free 15-minute session with me so I can show you how Build a Brand can help transform your business. Not only will Build a Brand help you generate and convert opportunities, but your mom will also thank you. All right, Jeff. So everyone wants to know who's this tall 6'5" guy, Jeffrey Bates. And I know a lot of people have seen you online. So I'm curious, man.
Mm-hmm.
First, let's get to know who you are. So tell everyone who you are, where you're at, and then we'll just go to the next question.
Well, I'm Jeff Bates. Been in car sales for probably about 8 years, a little over 8 years. Fell in love with it. Probably never do another business ever again. That I can say right now. I work at Travelers Automotive Group right there. I work with one of the dealerships. We think we have 6 dealerships, and another one probably trying to be the biggest pre-owned dealership, in the Missouri area. The one I work at is GMT here in Florissant, Missouri, the beautiful Florissant, Missouri. And I got probably one of the best teams that I work with in a long time.
Man, that is awesome. So you're currently at a used car dealership that has multiple locations, and they have 2 RV locations too, which is crazy. Now I'm just curious, like when you first got in the car business, that's a question I'd like to ask due to the fact that some people may be new to the automotive industry, or if they're watching, they may be a consumer not knowing that a lot of people get in the car business and don't really want to do it. But then some of them find like that niche to say, hey, like I really want to help people. And, it's something I'm good at.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious, let everyone know exactly
Mm-hmm.
how you got in the car business.
Well, I worked at the Marriott, the St. Louis Airport, St. Louis Marriott, probably about 13, 14 years. Loved it. And things changed, so I got out of that. I worked at a hospital. Did that for like a month and do it because I was around a bunch of 6 kids. I called a buddy of mine, Pat Stroger. I'll never forget it. Called him and his wife Lisa. So I knew he worked in the business. So I said, "You think you can give me a job?" So he got me my first job at Giant Lumber Chevrolet in Florissant, Missouri. I remember doing my first deal, man. It was crazy. I was nervous. I was in there sweating. And my boss was like, "What's wrong?" I was like, "I never did this. I had to go close this guy, on a payment and all that." Man, it was crazy. And I was sweating, and the guy was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "You're my first deal ever."
No pressure at all. That's awesome. So you started off at Johnny Landoff, and kind of from one of your friend's recommendations, and that's an interesting story because a lot of people do get referred to it from other people. Mine was very similar, and I know I've been to that store when you were there. You've been on our platform for about 1.5 years, maybe going on 2. And I remember going there the first time I met you, man. Like I was like walking in, I was like, "Yeah, I'm looking for Jeff Bates," and I texted you, I was like, "Oh, I'm here." Like, all right, I'm over my desk. I walk over, I was like, "Dang!" You're tall. Like, like, cause I'm 5'5", and a lot of my friends are real tall. So it was in, I guess, just really intense to walk up and finally meet you. I see all over social media. And then immediately when I first, came in there, man, like I just felt like we were friends. Like I didn't really know you that well. But
Yep.
the vibe that I got was, I mean, I could trust you. Like, and
Yeah.
I'm sure your clients have that same thing. So that's pretty awesome. That's a unique trait to have. Not a lot of people can have that. Now
Right.
let's get into what you're doing for prospecting, because I see you post stuff all the time
Hmm.
on social media, and your website is jeffreybates.com.
Right.
And I mean, I see you posting, even if you're posting something organic
Yep.
to Facebook, you always put your website down at the bottom. So I'd like you, first, tell us what you do for prospecting and explain kind of like how you post your content and like what do you find value in, and what's working for you.
Well, I do a lot of Facebook. That's my biggest thing. One thing I try to do is I try to friend my customers on Facebook, and I have a lot of friends that are customers on Facebook, and they they'll post some stuff for me, or they'll share my post. I got a old boss of mine. Every time I put something out there, he shared it, no matter what. You know, uh, I mean, and this is one of the biggest things I try to tell a lot of guys. Once you friend your customers on Facebook, that's a big resume. So people love to see stuff like that. Like, oh my God, you got a car, and I got it from Jeff. He was this, he was that. I had a customer, and I forgot to friend her, and she calls me up. She goes, "Oh my God!" She goes, "I posted that picture of me and my daughter getting this car." She goes, "And at least 10 people you sold cars to." And they were all like, and then kind of find out I sold her cousin a car. And her cousin's like, "Yeah, that's my guy right there. That's what I was telling you about. That's the dude." It just so happened by chance. And she ended up knowing another customer of mine that actually worked with her. She goes, "I got my car from Jeff too." And she's like, "Oh my God, you're all over the place." And and my girlfriend, we went to Target one day, Christmas time, and people kept walking up to me, "Hey Jeff, man, how you doing? Blah blah this that. Hey Jeff, what's going on?" She goes, "Oh my God." She goes, "How many people have you sold cars in this place to?" But and I don't try to push a lot of like you see, I see guys posting cars all the time. I don't try to do that. I try to something funny to keep people engaged. I always post when I'm actually going to post another car tonight that I sold um, earlier today. I'm gonna post that tonight. I just try to try to do something funny. Another big thing that's really going on too that I've been noticing, Facebook stories. You get more views on Facebook story than anything.
Yeah.
So I always try to do something funny. I just want people to keep coming, because if you keep posting, "Oh, I got this car," or this, that, I'm trying to sell this car, you start losing people.
Right. Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because a lot of people do, when they start posting, some of the managers, which is great, the managers like, hey, you need to be online.
Yeah,
And no one really teaches them how to do it, or, what to do. They just say, just post cars, huge sale. And that stuff was done years ago,
yeah,
like a long time ago. And so a lot of people still try to do business like that, thinking that if you say sell, 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 huge sell going on, the consumer's like, oh my gosh, like that's
right,
it. When
right, right.
when in fact it's really not. But there
Mhm.
is still a way to do it where you can educate the customer, and like your approach is more, you're trying to build value and show people you have a funny side to you.
Yeah.
And then you always highlight your customers, because every time I see you post something online, you're highlighting your customers and
Hmm.
talking about that. And I think that's great. And I love the fact that you have people talking about, oh, my friend bought from me, and then your girlfriend's like, man, how many people are you gonna sell cars to? It's like, everyone. Like, I want to help everyone. That's awesome. So now when it gets to obviously posting on social media, and especially like, I guess when it gets to communicate with customers, like you and I, like one day you reached out and you're like, hey Cam, is there any way that I can put my Facebook Manny chat, like for my business page, onto
Yeah.
my website? And
Mhm.
I was like, that's a good question. Like I'm
Yeah.
not sure,
Yeah.
but what I can do is figure it out. And I know we just launched that, new update where the buttons were actually on the mobile, like popping inside. And so it
Yeah.
looks cool. It was like perfect timing. And then I found it. And then we put it all over your thing. like all of your website and the call to action buttons. It was basically
Mhm.
like one button always said Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, with that, have you seen a lot of traffic coming from, a lot of people ask like, oh, does the website, having your own website work, or does, certain things work? So I'm curious, having, those buttons there that give the consumer the opportunity to actually do that.
Yeah.
What kind of return have you seen? And, can you like tell us what
Well,
results you've had from using and having like your own stuff to promote yourself?
it's been. I mean, to me, I don't. I think a lot of guys when they get the builder brand, they don't use it to its fullest because they want to see instant. They want instant gratification. You had to build and build and build and keep going. Um, the craziest thing when I first got my instant message from my builder brand, that makes you feel good
Sorry
because
about that.
it's actually somebody that
Hold on one sec. My bad. Sorry, someone's trying to zoom me. So
um,
when you first got what?
I got my first messenger from my website and sold the guy a car. You know,
Really?
yeah, I sold him a car. He came in, he hit me up. He's like, "Hey, I seen this car on your website. No, don't you know who he is?" You know what I mean? He goes,
Really?
"That's
And
just
how long after that what was that when, because I know we put it on your website, so someone went to your website, click, was looking at your website and then clicked the Facebook, to chat via Facebook, where that was going to
Mhm.
your business page. Like how long after we added that did that happen?
Ooh, I think maybe because we did that. That's when I was transitioning from my other dealership. We closed one of our dealerships down and moved it out to another spot. That was I think we did that in November.
Something
We
like
put that
that, yeah.
in. Yeah, so probably about say the first second week of November.
Okay. So
So
that's
it
pretty
was,
powerful. And I know like you just said something that's pretty great that a lot of people don't really understand. And it's at the beginning when you said when I first got Build a Brand, like I had to put in some work, and then some people try to get it, or they start with it, and then all of a sudden they're just like something's not working because they're looking for that instant gratification.
yeah,
When in fact, like you said it best, and I say it every time I do anything with it, like you got to put in work. Like what you
yeah,
put in is what you get out. Like
yeah.
there's nothing free in life. There's no secret, sauce or easy button.
Hmm.
And that's why, when you look at people that are great salespeople, they're not just doing the average things. They're not just going through the motions. They're going above and beyond, and they realize it's a long-term strategy. And
Yeah,
it's not just, like, oh, well, okay, I just, opened up my cell phone. All of a sudden, like, someone decided to send me a million leads.
yeah,
Um, and I love the fact that you're basically building that long-term business, and then providing your clients with many opportunities to get in touch with. It doesn't have to be just email, it doesn't have to be cell phone. You're like, hey, you like Facebook Messenger? Me too. Like, here, just chat.
yeah.
And that's awesome. And now when it gets to pretty much like following up with your customers, this is a lot of questions a lot of people don't really get into depth with, but I'm curious, like, how do you follow up with your customers? And what does it look like? Is it just through Facebook Messenger? Do you send video messages?
Oh
Or
yeah.
do you email? And
Yeah.
what does that look like for you?
I definitely sent a lot of videos, a lot of walk around videos. I had a guy that I did a walk around video on a Mercedes. He called me up. He goes, "Man," he goes, "I really appreciate that." Because everybody else just sending me pictures. He goes, "You actually walked around and showed me everything, and so I can make sure there was no kind of imperfections on the car." And he came in and bought that day.
So
He
hold
goes,
up,
"You."
everyone, listen. Like, if you did not just hear that, rewind. So Jeff just said something very awesome. Customer was basically looking for a Mercedes, and he went to multiple dealerships,
Yeah, yeah,
and was reaching out, and all these other people were just sending the gentleman photos,
yeah,
and then so you went out there and sent him a video message,
yeah,
and then he even complimented you on it, saying thank you
yeah,
because no one else has done that, and then bought the car. So
yeah.
you basically created an experience for that customer with him not even being there,
Oh yeah.
and he was blown away. Man, that's powerful, Jeff. Like
Yeah, he
real
came
powerful.
in, he came in that day. He was she was just like he was so personal, man. He goes, and you did everything, like I wanted. You actually went above and beyond what I was expecting because I was expecting some more pictures or whatever. He goes, you sent me the Carfax. I gave him all the information that he needed. I even told him, I said, hey, some on the side panel, is fading a little bit. He was fine with that.
Man, that's awesome. And that's great that you told him something was wrong with it. There's
Yeah.
many situations like when I've sold cars out of state, and one of them, I can vividly remember this entire conversation with this lady
Mhm.
from New Jersey. She was very skeptical about buying a car, but we
Yeah.
had like the only Z4 that she was looking for, the right color, the right packages. It was a BMW
Mhm.
Z4,
Yeah.
and I did, walk arounds for everything, right? And so I'm just
Mhm.
building that experience. She's all the way in New Jersey, doesn't have time to fly in. The car's not that important to her, right?
Right.
And then she's like, "Well, I do have a BMW, store down the street, and I'll just see if maybe they can, look at it." And we even got to the point where I was like, "Hey, look, I know you want this so bad, and I just want to help you." I even talked to my manager. My manager say he's willing to allow that dealership to buy the car so that they
Right.
can sell it to you.
Right.
And at the end, she ended up buying the car. It was great. Like we sent the papers to her. Then the guy came and was picking it up so that he could, pretty much drive it to her in a
Yeah.
semi. And then when he gets there, she's walking around looking at it and she's like, "Whoa, what's this scuffs down here?"
Mhm.
And he's like, "I don't know. That's not me." And she goes, "It's not Cameron." She goes, "He sent me videos of the entire car and I have them." And so she's like, "That's not from him." So that first gave me credibility, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it provided her proof to be able to back up what this gentleman was saying. So they ended up paying for it and fixing it. So that right
Yeah.
there is awesome, being
Oh
completely
yeah.
transparent up front, especially if something's wrong. And a lot of
Yeah.
times when you're buying a pre-owned car,
Mhm.
yeah, there's going to be some problems with it. But that's
Yeah.
the perks about buying a pre-owned car because you get a discount, right?
Okay. Yep.
Now going into referrals, like that's like it seems like that's a pretty big deal for you because you've been working with a lot of people, it seems like at the same company, everyone shops at the same place that you shop. So how do you get referrals? Do you have a certain approach that you do, or are you just sending people to your website, or what does that look like for you?
I send people to my website. I got here. I can even show you on my cards. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that?
Oh,
Okay.
good, good, there you go. Okay.
On my cards, that's what I put. I said, and I have people that come in and then they'll take them, and I can always tell because people come and grab my cards. Put your name on there. I give them my builder brand, my digital business card. I give them that. I actually had a guy last month. I had sold his girlfriend at the time. I sold her a car when I was at my old dealership. He contacted me through builder brand. You know, out the
Right.
blue, it pops up. He goes, "Hey, I hope you remember me. We had such a great time with you." He goes, "I want to buy a car from you. I understand you're not at the other place. Can I come in?" Came in. He had a hard time getting a vehicle and got him a 2018 Cruise hatchback for his big Great Dane.
What?
Yeah, yeah,
That's
his Great Dane.
awesome.
Oh, yeah. And he bought from me. As I tell people, I said, it's going to pay for itself in the end if you just keep you treat people nice, and I think this was his girlfriend car 2 years ago, and he remembered, the experience that he had.
Man, that is
Mhm.
awesome. And
Yeah,
that's good to hear because a lot of people, they don't really hear too much of that. Like I'm not out there
yeah,
saying, this person does this and like,
mhm,
it's I don't throw stuff in people's face because
no,
in my
no,
opinion, it's better when it comes from you.
mhm,
And so that right there is a good, example. And so if you're listening right now and maybe, you're thinking like, is this something for me or should I even get on Facebook? I mean,
yeah.
Jeff here is telling you so many great things. And Jeff, don't mind, don't get mad, but like, I'm just curious, like, how old are you?
49.
You're 49 years old and
Mhm,
you're crushing it on social media and you're
yeah,
doing a lot more than younger people.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so I get a lot of people that are like, "Oh, well, I'm older, I'm just not tech savvy and this and that."
yeah,
Well, that's kind of like an excuse because you can do it. You have to
yeah,
learn to adapt and overcome to be able to get to that
yeah,
next level.
yeah,
And a lot of people are so infatuated with telling us like back in my day or when I did this. That was great 30 years ago when you did that.
yeah,
That was great when there wasn't a cell phone besides like the Nokia. I remember that cell phone when I was in
mhm,
high school. Um, when the consumer didn't have all the information, they could buy a car anywhere.
yeah,
And
oh
so
yeah,
when people say that, it's like they constantly expect us to live like it was
mhm,
30 years ago.
yeah,
And they're
yeah,
not realizing that we're today. Like we have to be in today. And we also have to strive to go into the future to be able to help the clients, like all the customers that are looking for cars. And if
right,
not, we're gonna be left behind to some other person that wants to do it.
yeah.
So I
And,
mean, I think I just want to commend you, man. Like that's That's
Yeah.
awesome. I'm proud of you.
Oh, I keep pushing, man. I'm always trying to find, something different, to do, something to push my business forward. It's a guy here, and when I went to the other dealership, when I first came over here to this group, to the Travers group, I was helping this young kid, and man, let me tell you, his Facebook, that's all he sells off of is Facebook. I mean, his messenger constantly every day goes off. Dude. I mean, he was so full of friends, he had to delete some people that he did, and it's just crazy. I mean, him and I teamed up with him. I showed him a few things to do. He's like, oh, okay. So now his Facebook thing, I mean, it gets to the point to where, me and him had to double up with customers.
Right,
And,
man. That's powerful.
and he just, I mean, it's nuts, man. It is absolutely nuts. And I tell people, I said, this is free advertising.
Yeah.
You're not paying for anything like that. It's free. Why would you not use it? I mean, Facebook even has classes that you can take for free on how to increase your business.
Yeah, it's literally all over. Like you can go to the help, like Facebook support or help, and it gives you documents on how to do everything.
Mm-hmm. And
That's
see,
awesome.
I think a lot of guys, man, they get so. I think a lot of guys do too much social media. You know what I mean? They don't concentrate, like, I gotta do Instagram, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, and they're all over the place. I just think you get overwhelmed. I tried that before and I couldn't do it. I just stick to Facebook.
Yeah, and guys, I'm gonna just kind of elaborate on that. So what Jeff is saying, and I know you just heard him say it, but I feel like it's a thing that's really overmissed is a lot of times people try to do so many different platforms to post content to, and the reality is it takes a lot of work because if you're gonna really get on social media, that means you're posting 2 to 3 times a day. That means you're replying to every comment. That means you're going and engaging with other people's content as well, not just expecting them to come, to talk with you, but also saying, hey, like, I'm going to engage with your content. And then think about all those different platforms. And I've tried it before, and I'm not going to lie, like, it was hard. I would stay up till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning just replying to people.
Yeah.
And, I feel like I couldn't give my all my attention to the right people. So I kind of backed off on some of them because that just wasn't my space.
Yeah.
And man, Jeff, like, I just have one last question. And I'm just curious because there's, you're 49 years old, you're out here, crushing on social media, you're doing stuff to better your life. Now, what is it like, if you could say like a quick little, 1 or 2 sentence elevator pitch or something to someone that was like interested or, wanted to learn more about, of course, our product, what would you tell that person? And like, I'm just curious, what would you say?
I'll tell them to do it.
What to do it? Just do it. It's like Nike, just do it. So what's your favorite feature, I guess, out of all of it? How about that? Like, tell me your favorite feature.
The best thing I like is the video messages that I can do for customers. Love that.
Okay.
Because you can, I sold a, what was it? I sold a cruise. Sent this lady and her husband, I mean, this lady and her husband, I sent them the video. She went through and looked at this thing probably about 20 times.
What?
20 times. And that's my favorite. And she just kept going in. My phone kept dinging. I'm like, what is that? She was in love with it.
Man, that's actually my favorite feature too. So I agree with you.
I love that part of it. And I like that you can actually go on there. You can see, people are actually engaging with your website, and they're looking at it. You can tell what they're looking at. How many people looked at it a month, how many clicks, and all the different stuff on there. And people
right on the digital business card. You're talking about the digital business card, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Heck yeah, man. That's like another awesome second feature.
Yeah, like I said,
and is it JEFFRE?
Yep. BATES.
Yep. BATES. Oh yeah. So there's no Y in there in case you're trying to spell Jeffrey with a Y. So jeffreybates.com. Check out stuff. Reach out to him if you need some help. And again, guys, I'm Cameron Moore, your host at Builder Brand Interviews, and thank you so much for watching. If you're on our Alexa podcast, thank you so much. It's actually a flash brief. We appreciate you for listening, and we will catch you guys next time. All right, man, that was it. Hey, I appreciate that, man. I know we did that first one, and it was the audio.
They said I couldn't do it, but I can. Yes, I can. New requests are coming in to be my friend. Friend. Build a brand.